Today me and James are going to King Island. We got this as like a present from James's dad for when we got engaged. So basically what's going to happen is, I've got my little booklet. We're going on a DC-3, which is like a really old plane, to King Island. Apparently when we check in, we get like light refreshments, and then it's like a low altitude flight to King Island, which is like at the top of Tasmania. I'm really excited to go though, because that's where like my dad's family came when they first came to Australia. So basically once we get there, we're going to have a lunch and then go try some local produce stuff afterwards, which is James's favorite thing to do. But yeah, it's going to be really cool, and it's not too cold either. So that's apparently what the plane looks like.
Like your balance.
So this classic DC-3 was one of the last ones built and rolled out of the production line of Douglas Aircraft in Santa Monica in August 1945 for delivery to the RAAF. After 40 years plus of service in our Air Force, it came to us in the late 80s. We converted it to civilian status and it's operated as Melbourne's Goonie Bird from Essendon ever since. It's perfect for Silver Clipper dinner flights and our weekly King Island indulgence stays, which is us. 28 passengers are seated in comfortable ex-Airbus chairs and cruise at 300 kilometres an hour in quiet comfort. The engines are Pratt & Whitney R1830-92s and each develop on 1,200 HP for takeoff.
An airport on this beautiful sunny day. We've experienced all kinds of things, as a lot of you are aware, over the last few years. How many of you have tried to fly on this thing and have been cancelled?
2 years.
2 years. We thank you for your patience and marvel at it and wonder why, I suppose. So anyway, we're here today and it's great. We go through a few little things to make your journey more understanding. I'm Michael, I'm one of the pilots. Jeff is our other pilot. We've got John and Ruth Raffy are on the ground. John's new to the industry, but he's already doing very well, and Raffy's just learning. And we've got Julie, who is the boss of the joint. We do everything she says.
Good man, well trained.
And we do all, I'm sure you all had to. Essendon Airport's a marvellous place. It's been here for more than 100 years. They had the big celebration last weekend. It was like Chapel Street out there. It was amazing. And it's a great place to fly aeroplanes from. Nice wide smooth runways. We've got new LED lighting and good instrument approaches. Pilots love it. Lindsay and Max have spent about $15 to $20 million here in the last 15 years, and it's terrific. This is the heritage part of the airport. They've spent nothing here. This is a long-winded way of saying to you, there's been nothing happened to the tarmac out there since 1934. It's covered with cracks and fissures and all kinds of terrible things. Please watch your footing. I know you're all wearing good, sturdy King Island footwear today, but we have a few flights, the cocktail flight on Saturday night, where ladies dress up in all kinds of finery. And alas, we've had many a Manolo come to grief out there. Please watch your footing going to the aeroplane. We get people who are so enamoured by the whole thing, isn't this lovely, and suddenly they're on the ground. Please be careful. While I'm on the subject of tarmacs, at King Island International, when we get there it'll be either absolutely desolate, there'll be nothing happening, or it'll be a hotbed of activity. The experiencing a golf-led recovery there. There's been millions of dollars spent there, and as I'm sure some of you are golfers, or some of you are not, but it's amazing, and they sometimes have several business jets there and airliners, and I think today there's going to be a bit of them. So, it's an uncontrolled airport, which sounds dangerous. It's not. It means that pilots have to separate themselves by themselves, but the activity on the tarmac can be quite intense. It's really important when we get there, when we get out of the aeroplane, stay adjacent to the door, the exit, until Julie has everyone ready and you go in a cohesive group across the tarmac. Don't go wandering off on your own, for God's sake. There's blokes on tractors with trailers behind them. It's just awful. Please be careful. The tarmac, how we read, is excellent. You won't trip over there, but you might get hit by a tractor. Please be careful. The weather. We have some of the most interested weather observers in Australia fly with us. We get calls during the week. We speak to the Bureau often ourselves, and they tell us that they get many calls from Guernsey bird passengers, which is fine. It's very dependent on whether going down to King has a lot of them can cancel and usually the weather's beautiful here and it's iffy on King. If there's any bad weather in Australia, it's usually at King Island. Today is the reverse. We've got intermittent showers here and a bit of weather on the way, but down there it's forecast to be quite calm and pleasant, which we're very grateful for. What that means on our way down there, we'll probably be in and out of cloud, depends on exactly what we find, and there'll be occasional movement of the aeroplane. We'll try to minimise it, of course, but down low, all aeroplanes move around in the air, and it won't be the perfect milk sort of fluid flight. Please be aware of that. And I hope that's okay with you. We'll be talking to Jeff and I as we get down with what we reckon and what we know, which won't take long. We're sucking it and see. Who's flown in a DC-3? Hands up. Okay. For those of you that have not, we like to go into a few things so that you're not too surprised when you get into this vintage aeroplane that is so unlike the ones that you're more used to flying. Some of the things I'm about to mention are bleedingly obvious, and I apologise in advance for them. The first thing is, it's not a jet. It's powered by two large radial piston engines. And I could recite to you a whole litany of statistics. They're 14 cylinders and they develop 1,200 horsepower, blah, blah, blah. As a passenger though, it makes a bit of a difference. When we get into a modern aeroplane, we're not really conscious of the engines, are we? We sit there and the video plays or the flight attendant starts talking to us. The scenery sort of moves backwards and that's about it. Not so in a DC-3. You'll be sitting there and Julie will be giving you her safety briefing, and one of you she'll ask to come and model the very stylish life jacket. You'll hear whines coming from various parts of the aeroplane. I apologise in advance. It's not the English passengers. I spent a year living in England and they gave it to me something terrible. It's awful. Their starter motors and booster pumps all coming together. There's a sort of a loud clunk as the starter engages, the propeller jerks around, a cloud of blue smoke comes out the back, and you'll think, my God, we're all going to die. It's normal. There's an old saying about DC-3s, you don't start them up, wake them up. And they clumpy, and then they settle down nice smooth. Jeff and I have already run it up today, and it's in fine fettle, we believe. The second thing is it's a tail wheel aeroplane. It sits on the ground at an angle of 11.5 degrees. And we get quite a few people who become understandably a bit nervous that going to King Island at an angle of 11.5 degrees. And it's perfectly understandable. Of course not. On takeoff, the tail comes up, we fly down level, we land pretty well level, and then the tail comes down. There's a zillion stories about DC-3s. They've been flying for 80 odd years and they've been a marvellous thing. One of the other ones is if you walk up to a DC-3 and it's not leaking oil, it means it's out of oil. They're like Jaguars, another fine English product. You can always tell a Jaguar owner by his driveway and the leaks from the rear main oil seal. That aeroplane's been parked out there for 30 years and you can see the oil stains on Google Earth. It's amazing. So, they're air cooled, they're like 7 Harley Davidsons all working hard together. turboprop Cessna that operates out of here. And it flies over Melbourne about 12 hours out of every 24. It's got about $5 million worth of stuff in it. They know everything, which is so terrifying. So we were at the engine. So they drip a little bit of oil. This one's very clean. We have a marvellous set of engineers here who go to some terrific lengths, and it's good. But they all do legally.
I do protest about the comment about the heart.
Whatever you say, sir.
I've only just bought one, so.
Well, I wouldn't brag.
Moving right along, we've done the tarmac. When we go to the stay between the cones, and then we'll have John and Rafi will be out there to guide you towards the aeroplane. Starting, we've done oil leaks, we've done toilets. We've got toilets here, which some of you have used. The aeroplane has a toilet. When we got this aircraft from the Air Force, it was an Air Commodore's personal aeroplane.
Oh, so that's right.
And it was a standard military aircraft with no lining, no nothing. And when we gave it to Shut Aviation at Moorabbin for a year and gave them all our money, I said, turn this into a civilian aeroplane. I was able to indulge my long-held hatred of airliner toilets. They must be,
Yes.
some of them, the ceilings there.
Yes.
For old blokes, it's a real trial. So I said to them, I want a big toilet. It's got it. And they looked at me quite strangely. He said, oh, okay. And it goes right across the cabin, bigger than my lounge room. It's got a little sink in the corner. It's fantastic. It is of limited capacity. It's there for your use. We'd be delighted if you didn't use it too much. One of the main reasons is that it's not a modern system. You have to dump the contents prior to landing, and certain cars are specified areas. And the main one is the Collingwood administration. They hate that. Eddie was here one night, we said that, and I got the look. I'm not getting on that show anytime soon. So it's when we finish the briefing, in there are some toilets. Use it if you have to, but we'd rather you didn't. Jump seats. People who booked a jump seat, please check with Julie. We understand that there's 2 landings booked. If someone wants to come and watch Jeff and I blunder our way into the air for takeoff, we've got one out of here and one out of King. See Julie if you'd like to do that. Okay. Give her $700 and she'll let you do it. And that's about all from me. Has anyone got any quick questions that you'd like to ask?
My microphone working up the back? Yeah, beautiful, thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Julie, and on behalf of Captain Mike Falls and Jeff Stay, we'd like to welcome you aboard Melbourne's Goonie Bird. In preparation for takeoff, we would like to explain to you the safety aspects of the DC-3. Michelle will be helping this morning, so please follow everything that she does, if you need to. All right, she's the boss today. All right, no smoking.
Just on this side, Michelle.
Please observe the no smoking sign. Smoking is not permitted on this aircraft, and this includes the famous lavatory at the rear of the aircraft, which please use if you need to. Don't listen to pilots. Seatbelts. Your seatbelt must be firmly fastened, tightened by pulling the strap, and to release, lift the clasp on the buckle.
Been on a lot of flights.
Emergency exits. There are 4 clearly marked emergency exits. The door by which you entered at the rear of the aircraft, 2 exits at row 5, and 1 forward of the cabin on the left-hand side. Life jacket.
Now, when I say that, breathing and a lot less.
She is.
There's a life jacket located under your seat if required, and Michelle will now demonstrate with my instructions the fitting of the life jacket. You're getting ahead of me.
I am.
Place the jacket over your head. Secure the tape around your waist.
Where is it? Oh,
It's stuck.
To tighten, pull the yellow tab. Once outside the aircraft, and don't do this,
I'm not going to do this.
pull down on the red tab to inflate your jacket. There is a whistle and light
Yeah.
No, that one? Yeah.
to attract attention, and a mouthpiece for further inflation if required.
Fantastic.
Hey, good job, Michelle.
There's a safety on board card in the seat pocket in front of you. Please just take a moment to read this card. There's also one of those in the seat pocket in front of you, but we are not going to need it today. And Michelle in row 2's in charge. All right? Let's not forget. Okay. Thank you. Take care.
He's around somewhere if we're lucky. There's some turkeys over here on the left. They all run wild here all around the island. Don't have any foxes or rabbits.
The old owners still own the pub. There it is there. Left hand side you've got the RSL building and the library and the skate park. On the corner over the road you've got the community centre. And the rest of it's fairly self-explanatory. The IGA is just not a normal IGA. She's got grog and hardware and furniture and lotto and quite a bit of other stuff in there.
This is the view from the place where we're having lunch.
Thanks very much. But he's winner AF.
Up to them, however much they want to get. The kelp is a bull kelp and it's a very fast growing product. Harvested absolutely environmentally friendly. It depends on the wave action to pull it off the rocks or wherever it's been hooked onto. It gets washed up to shore mainly on the west coast. So we can't really see it today, folks, but there's a head grave up there of one of the seamen that died with the loss of the British Admiral, a 27-year-old guy.
They just let us off the bus to go to a harbour walk, but me and James know we're probably faster than everyone else, so we've got to go look at the Lighthouse, which is good because we're both falling asleep on the bus because we just had lunch, so it's good to get the fresh air. James. So we're walking towards the boathouse where you can do BYO food. And apparently there's an honesty box or something if you wanted to get souvenirs or something, but yeah, we probably won't be getting anything because there's no point. I like those boats. James has actually found saltbush. He literally is obsessed with this and tries to find it at every single beach we go to. Are you gonna eat it?
I'll try it. Yeah.
Try it. Try it. Do it. Do it.
Should I look at whether I can actually eat it or not?
Nah, just what if it kills you? It'll be fun. Yummy.
It's edible. You have some. You reckon?
It's salty. So there's our plane and we're going to be flying back home. How does it feel?
It's just soft and smooth.
got back, and when we landed, they gave all like the girls a rose. So, did you have a fun day?
Yes, I did.